Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. Thought I would do a quick, not really review, but a preview of something I ran across. This is a short sword by Roll for Tarak. Trying to say that right. But they did another game that I really enjoy and I really need to play. I didn't really play it, but I enjoyed what I read of it. It was Brave Zenith. It was one of the first things I ever purchased on itch.io right after the social justice bundle. That's what brought me there, with all those games in one spot. But they do pretty good work, and I saw this. They just popped up a couple of days on the itch, and it's part of the one page dungeon for Jam for 2026. So anyway, love that cover. That's very basic D&D right there. Um, but anyway, let's take a look at the actual one page. So you see the start up here at the top, but the rules pretty simple stuff. The judge describes the world, the inhabitants, and its inhabitants, and the players describe what their characters do. And it looks like any test is done with a d6. You roll a d6, and if any you get a result 4 or higher, then you got it. It's a d6 system. It also uses tags, and here down here at the advantage, and that gives you an advantage or disadvantage. For example, if you're good at something, then you can roll twice. You can take the better result. And if you're bad at something, then you can roll twice and take the worse result. Um, that's pretty cool. I've gotten kind of into tags here lately. I've been playing Legends in the Mist, which uses a tag system or theme system or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's for like when you're trying to. Let's say I'm gonna jump this bridge, and let's say, or jump over this gorge, and you're like, well, that character's good at jumping over the bridge, or over the gorge, so you would roll and twice, and then get to check it. Otherwise, if you didn't have a skill at it, you would just roll one and hope you got over 4, which it gives you a 50-50 chance. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, if you look down here in the violence section, I guess combat, well, it's a little different. It's kind of like Risk. I don't know how many of y'all have ever played Risk. But the initiative's kind of cool, though. When the fight breaks out, the most numerous side starts, and ties go to the player. When someone fails an attack, then the initiative switches sides. So, like, if you come in, you're just one guy, and there's 3 feral goblins coming at you, then you they get attacked first. But if it's you and another feral goblin, then you get it because you're the player. I think this is interesting. I'm not 100% sure how this initiative fail thing works. I'm going to assume you go along with the regular initiative, and then let's say you fail. Next time they get initiative first. So it'd be like they got back to back if they got to go second. They'd get back to back attacks. So that's kind of interesting. Um, with melee attacks, both fighters will roll a d6. The higher side wins, and then they get to roll 1d6 damage. And the tie goes to the attacker. This is kind of interesting. This is kind of like Troika in a way, where even when you attack, there's a chance you get hit back. There was a couple of strategy RPGs that was that way. So you both roll. Like, I'm attacking this feral goblin, so you roll a hit. You get a 6, they get a 3, then you hit them. But let's say you got a 3 and they got a 6, then they would do damage to you. It'd be like they were parrying and hitting you. So that's kind of cool. But ranged attacks, you both roll. And in this case, the defender doesn't get to hit you back because, I guess, because you're shooting a projectile. So it just gives them a chance to dodge. So that's kind of cool. And then that you always roll the 1d6 damage. I think that's kind of it should work, but my mind is like, what if you made the difference the amount of damage? Like, let's say you attacked, you rolled a 6, and they rolled a 3. That'd be 3 points of damage their way. That's kind of a home brew I've already got in my head. Uh, when you're at 0 hit points, you die. It says here the two-handed weapons get you an increase of 1 point, and the armor reduces you by 1 point, whatever armor you have. Advancement. This is kind of interesting too. It's like at the end of a session, you increase your maximum hit points by 1. So it's session based. That's kind of interesting. So no XP to keep track of. Then every other session, you have to pick another thing you're bad at. So I don't know if that's supposed to be saying you're aging, that you're you're going down a downward spiral. If I was playing, I would try to make that have something to do with the what happened in the game. But every 200 gold pieces you pick up or spend, then you pick another thing you're good at. So that's where you can add new tags to you. The inventory, the 10 item thing. It looks like everybody's got that. Uh, Fragile items will break when you take damage. Use good sense when determining what you can carry and what you can't. Just store. You can't just store a statue in your backpack. I agree with that. Healing, it's a 1d6 hit points when you eat food, or a good night's sleep will recover all your hit points. Rations don't take up space in your inventories. That's kind of cool. It's one of the things that bugs me in other games. And here we got speaking of which, here we got a little Shadow Dark shout out. Light sources, torches will stay lit for 30 real-time minutes, and lanterns have to be refilled between sessions. So that's kind of interesting that they added that. I do like that mechanic. I put that in other games too. You got your character creation over here. You can name your character. Roll a 1d6 plus 8 for your starting HP. You pick 2 things you're good at. You pick 1 thing you're bad at. You roll 1d6 plus 10 for your starting gold. I wonder if you can go ahead and start using that towards your next good thing. Good thing you're good at tag. You pick 2 items to start with, and then you can start with 1d6 rations, which is kind of something I do when I do any of my dungeon crawls. You got a little short bestiary, or bestiary, whichever way you want to say it. I find it kind of interesting that they didn't use a Tarask as their main monster, which is kind of like, I had to look it up. I didn't know what it was. It's a dragon with a big snail shell on its back. I think it spits out poison on you when it attacks you. Like, they should have put that as their main creature. But of course, if I play this, I'm gonna have to make one of those as the main bad boss of any kind of dungeon. But overall, I like it. I thought it looks interesting. In fact, this will probably be. I haven't done an actual play yet. I'm still working on. I got one more dungeon generation type I want to try, and then a couple other things. But when I do an actual play, this is going to be the first one I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and see how it runs. Another thing I noticed: there's no magic. There's no. It's a one-page TTRPG for that jam. I would have used. You can always use both sides. I would have put magic on those. But if you're using it as your game, then you can just add your own magic system, and I probably will. I could make a bestiary for it. I could use. It could use a list, or maybe a D66 list of things you're good at tags and things you're bad at tags list. That could be interesting. I could add a couple of things. And with most things in this hobby, you can mix and match what you want. That's what I've always done. But anyway, I thought I'd share that out. I thought it was interesting. But I'll put a link in the description. Also, the previous generators, I did make them available on RPG Trader. I don't know how many of y'all go there, but you can get all kinds of things there. And it's like Itch, but it's a little more. I think it loads. To me, it seems like it loads faster and moves quicker, and it's easier to search for things. But any of the generators I make or any things I share that are mine, I'll put up there for free. But anyway, I appreciate you, and have a great day.